Alright, so I got the old 231J back together. It wasn't really all that difficult to put back together. I took pictures of what I tore apart. You know, there's a few bolts in places, like for instance there, here, this little bracket, here, this one. There's one down on the side down here that takes a washer. So I made sure I took pictures of that stuff. So I made sure I put them exactly back where they went. Overall, a lot of it though was just standard. I mean, there's different size bolts that have to go there, so no big deal. As far as inside, as I tore it apart, I took pictures of it, just so I could refer back to it. That's just how I do a lot of things. I didn't see nothing wrong with it. I even had somebody else that works on stuff look at it just to see if I was overlooking something. There was nothing wrong with the transfer case. It actually looked like brand new on the inside. Besides just a little bit of metal, which came out of the transmission. Transmission was toast. It had some chunks in it, so it probably filtered back into here somehow. I mean, that's what I'm assuming. More than likely that fine stuff come through the front side here. This cover does go on a certain way for a certain reason. Up here at the top, it has a hole that feeds through here that actually, I guess, circulates the oil for the transmission fluid for the bearing in here. So you have to make sure, you know, you put that, line that back all up right. Don't turn it upside downwards or anything. So you can kind of see it has a spot right here, and the rest of it doesn't. So that's where it's got an indentation in there. A hole comes through, the oil goes in here, comes down and feeds that. So as you can see, everything spins good. That little bit of noise is normal. I don't have no fluid in it right now. I did pour a little bit of transmission fluid on the bearings, so it would have a little something on them. Yeah, everything's good and tight. Let's see here. Yeah, so right now it's in neutral. It's in neutral. Let's see here. Alright, so let's see. It's kind of hard to hold a phone, which is what I'm using. I don't have a stand or anything, and do it by hand and hold it too, but you can see. And then actually, it's a 4-wheel drive. Go ahead and crank it on up. Now it's in 2-wheel drive. See? Again, I don't see nothing wrong with this transfer case whatsoever. It's a 2-wheel drive, I believe it's 4 high and 4 low, if I'm right. I can't remember. Let's see. No, I believe that's 4 high. That's 4 high right there. I got a little bit of resistance, nothing like I do, but it is locked in. But the other way was 4 low. So if I remember right, I pulled this transfer case out in neutral. All I got to do is make sure I put this in neutral, and then I will check the shifter to make sure it's back in neutral when I line everything back up, and I shouldn't have any issues. So again, it ended up being the transmission. I thought it was this with all the noise it was making. I just knew it was in this transfer case, but it wasn't. Something is broken, that transmission. I'll be uploading that video too. Not sure which one I'll upload first, but end up getting another used transmission to put in it, and like I said, hey, I know everything's good in this. Put a little gasket sealer. I use the ultra black, maximum oil resistance. You don't need a lot. I know it's messy. I just took whatever was left over out here instead of leaving it a little mound. I just kind of spread it evenly across through there. I did use some blue thread locker. Put on mostly all of these, and some of these for sure. These I will end up doing it when I put it back in the transmission. I like the blue stuff. It's a little easier to break loose, but it's better not having anything on there. The red stuff makes it a little bit harder, and I didn't have any red stuff, so it's better to use something than nothing. So as you can see, it says medium strength. Trying to think anything else. I believe this transfer case takes about 1.5 quarts of automatic transmission fluid, ATF4. That's what goes in the transmission. I think the transmission is going to take around about 8.5 or so quarts. You know, of course, you're going to check the stuff. Got your little plug right here. Pull it out and fill it right there, and once it starts to come out, you know you got it full. So that's about it. Nothing much to it. It's not really that hard of a project. Just take your time with it, lay it all out, keep it in a clean area. I know this don't look the cleanest, but it's a lot better than it was. I actually sprayed some of this junk on there. I wouldn't buy it again. I tried it. It may work on some minor stuff, but it didn't to me work that good on this. I'm gonna go back to like Grease Lightning. But I use this and shot it with the water hose down pretty good, and you know, it's cleaner because it was pretty nasty looking like this orange all over it. So the inside, I actually took brake clean and sprayed the inside all down, and used an air hose and blowed my stuff off as I put it back together. I don't want no dirt or anything to get up in there in those gears and mess it up or anything. So definitely cleaning this is a big thing. I can deal with this on the outside, but I promise you the inside, you know, I sprayed it down good. Got it good and clean. Actually, if you can see, my table's a pretty much mess. I don't have a really big shop or anything. So I done it outside and laid a couple pieces of plywood down on the ground, blowed them off, then laid the pieces, and like I said, sprayed them off and laid them out on that pieces of plywood, and then took my air hose even after I sprayed them with the brake clean, sprayed them off with the air hose even too before I put them back together, and then added a little bit of transmission fluid on those bearings and everything. Hope this helps somebody. Thanks for watching.